Hey there, my name is Michael Kwan and welcome to Financially Alert. I'm so excited that you're here because this is my first stab at YouTube, and I'm so excited because I know that you really want to consume information that's relevant and important to your life. So give you something that can shift your life forever, quite honestly. And this video specifically is talking about how to raise your standards and increase your wealth. So when we talk about raising our standards, the reason why we're talking about raising our standards is that money and finances are 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. So what does that really mean? It really means that mindset really dictates everything else. Because ultimately, if you have a belief, that belief will trigger an action, and that action will give you a result. So if you're not where you want to be financially, you don't have enough money, or you want to create more abundance for yourself and your family, then you're in the right spot. So let's get started. There's a few different ways that you can really raise your standards. And this next year is going to be a fantastic opportunity to do exactly that. So number one, you need to adjust your peer group. So what do I mean by that? It doesn't mean that you have to ditch your family and friends. You know, they're of course people that you love and you want to keep in your life. However, if they talk about money in a way that's disempowering, or they have specific beliefs that can leak over into your own, then you want to associate with people that are doing already what you want to do with your own money. So let's just take, for example, real estate investing. Let's say that you've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and you're like, wow, real estate investing can really help catapult me to that next level and create passive income and create equity in areas that I'm not currently doing. Then what can you do? Well, you can go to a local real estate investment club. That's a great place to go in, find mentors, coaches, and ultimately a community that is talking the same language. And here's the thing, you might feel a little out of place at first, you may not exactly know what they're talking about, but the more you hang out with them, the more you'll start getting familiar with the jargon and start understanding some of the discussion around returns on investment, equity, rent ratios compared to the price of a property, and really learn the ins and outs. All right, so step two to raising your standards is really going out and finding a great mentor. Mentors are fantastic because they're people that have already done what you want to do. And they have the knowledge and they've been there, they've already taken the steps and made the mistakes that you potentially could make, and they can help guide you in a much more efficient way than if you had gone out and did it on your own. And that's not to say that you're not going to make mistakes, because you potentially will, we all do. And that's great, but if you have a mentor, that mentor can help to facilitate some of that path forward. Now, having said that, to find a mentor, I actually created an entire article about how to find a mentor and what you need to do to interact and find a good one so that they'll want to engage with you also. You know, with a relationship, anytime it has to be a two-way street. So you want to be able to give them something before ever expecting anything in return. So a lot of times, all you got to do is go out there and ask. And then secondarily, you want to ask, okay, what can I do for you in this process as well? And I think a lot of times you'll realize that there's things that you can do right here and now, even if you don't have any money whatsoever, and they'd be willing to help you. So you got to keep an open mind and you have to ask. Don't forget that part. All right, so the third thing that you want to do to really raise your standards and increase your wealth is to read more. This is the third one, and it's so important because there's so much wisdom and information out there from the greatest minds ever that you can get direct access to by simply reading their books and the things that they've put out literally thousands of years ago. And so I really challenge you to go out there and consume more of just tried and true classics, business books, self-improvement books, anything that really enriches your brain to think in a different level and think in a different way that you've never thought before. That's the beautiful thing. Things like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, when he talks about how the rich think about money differently than the poor. That's a great way to really shift your mindset, as well as getting access to very specific technical information. You can go in and learn about real estate investing, stocks and equities. You can learn about, foreign languages, anything that really enriches your brain to consume and think in a different place. That's the whole thing with raising your standards, right? You're not willing to stay where you are because you want to move forward. So take a look on the blog. I've got a whole list of resources and books that I recommend, and that's a great place to start. So number 4, to really raising your standards and increasing your wealth, Number 4 is to pay yourself first. Yes, I know it sounds a little bit cliche, and sometimes people are like, well, what does that really mean? Pay yourself first. Of course I'm going to pay myself first. But what that really means is that when it comes down to it, you want to take a portion of your income, whether it's a paycheck, if you own a business, or if you're getting a salary from a company, and you want to literally take that, set it aside, and put it into an account that's totally separate from everything else. So it literally goes into that account first. And then after that fact, then you take everything else, then you pay your bills, you pay your taxes, you pay all these other things. But guess what? The first portion, whether it's 10%, 15%, whatever you decide that allocation to be, it's separated and aside specifically for you. And that's paying yourself first. And the reason why this is so powerful is because you really get an understanding that, you know what, I'm in control of my money and I can do what I want to do with it. And I'm going to allocate specifically to myself and feed myself first so that ultimately I can take care of other people. All right, we're down to number 5, and this is the last one. And this potentially is one of the most important ones and something that people don't really catch on to much later in life. But I will tell you, if you do this early on, it will accelerate your wealth creation. So number 5 of raising your standards and increasing your wealth is to give first. It may seem counterintuitive initially when you're trying to create wealth, right? That you want to give away money or give away time. But the truth is, this simple act of giving actually programs your mind into realizing that you have an abundance in your life already, no matter where you are. The mere fact that you're watching this video on technology tells me that you are blessed in some regard. If you're alive, you're blessed to be alive and to breathe this air. And so no matter what you have or don't have, there's always something that you can give to someone else. And by giving, whether it's money, whether it's a smile, whether it's in service to someone else, it's going to create an idea of abundance in your life. And the more abundant that you feel, the more wealth you're going to basically be able to absorb into your life. And so when you do that and you give, you're going to open yourself up into receiving much more. It's a law of reciprocity that works in this universe, and whether you believe in God or not, it works. So try it out. And if nothing else, you help someone else, you give someone else something in service, and you're leaving this world a better place. But trust me, it works. So with that said, those are the 5 different key fundamentals that you can really take to raise your standards. And when you raise your standards this year, you're going to see some amazing things happen. What happens specifically when you take these actions? I want to know. Go down in the comments. And I also want to ask you, if you like this type of content, if you would go ahead and subscribe, that would really give me some great feedback so that I know to create more of these videos for you. And I'm so appreciative that you're here. With that said, my name is Michael Kwan. Thanks for stopping by at Financial Alert, the YouTube channel, and also check me out on the blog, financialalert.com, and we'll see you inside. Take care for now.